Priscilla Corner is here with me, talking to me about her latest movie. It's called Calcutta, I'm Sorry. She's a really fascinating person by all accounts. She does all kinds of things. She sings, she acts, she's in theatre, she's a business person. What more could I want than to have the pleasure of talking with her? Thank you so much, Priscilla, for being here today. Now, Priscilla, I know it's a tough time. You've had a very busy time. What's it been like for you to work on this movie, Calcutta, I'm Sorry?
I think the best part of this movie is that the entire crew, starting with the director, the producer, Harry McLeod, Pran, Nicholas and Vignesh, Shiva, we've all been linked together by this common thread of enthusiasm and emotional investment. And I think in that aspect, we have been on the same sort of energy level. And when you find this sort of synergy happening in any team, what happens is working becomes non-working. It becomes almost like an experience, fun thing. It was fun, it was exciting, it was testing my limits, it was it was as much an outward journey as it was an inward journey. So all in all, to me, this has been a very, very, very beautiful experience.
Right. But what made you in the first place accept to do something like a movie like this? Because whatever it is, I know it's been a lot of hard work, cycling, whatever it is. So why did you actually decide to step into it?
Well, three reasons, I would say, Jenny. One is that I hadn't been involved in anything creative for a very long time. I had been concentrating so much on the business that I just wanted to exercise my creative chops once again, so to speak. The second thing that determined this choice I made was that when Mr. Harry McLeod, the director, sent me the script, it was a very engaging script, many an actress would love to be a part of it. And the third thing was that Harry has given so much towards the community that I felt that in some way I had to share the responsibility of putting his dream project out there. So it was a combination of these three things really that said, yes, I must do it.
Okay, as you went along, did you at any point of time offer any suggestions? Did you say, can we do it this way, or do you want it done that way, Harry? Did you have any say in the way things went along?
I think the script has its spine, it has its focus, and that's what a good script should be all about. However, the flesh and blood elements of it do to a large extent come with a little bit of input here and there. And I think Harry was very generous in that regard. To allow me to sometimes give my interpretations of the character. I think it's very, very important for the character to have some sort of authentic relativity to me, some authentic reference point to my experience and my investment in the role. I would have to, at some point, I think, share what I think would work sometimes.
I think that's a very good way to work in any case. Now, as you went along with filming, you were all over the country. I'm just wondering about the kind of responses from the people around you, because you were in pretty much rural areas much of the time.
Yes. I think when you weave yourself into your subject almost to the point where you lose yourself, you don't stand out as much as one would imagine. And I think at some level this is what happened. Yes, we did get responses from people on the way. They stopped and said, selfie, selfie.
Were they curious?
What you were doing? Curious. Yeah. What are you doing? And I think that was part of the journey. I expected that sort of reaction, so when it happened, I wasn't taken by surprise. But I must say, people were very accepting. I think to a large extent, we live in a world now where social media dominates so much of our lives. People are quite exposed to people cycling and, women on the highway and doing things like that. So they weren't completely taken by surprise. And I was ready to be taken by surprise, and I wasn't that much taken by surprise. So I think it was a very interesting experience, Jennifer.
You, of course, are pretty bilingual, really, or more than bilingual. So perhaps that was a bit of a help to you as you went along. Did that help you at all?
It did. I mean, my father was in the army, and by virtue of that, I traveled all over India. And I was exposed to the cultures of the different cities. And I think my trilingual approach to everything has I would think, enriched my life. And it has made me a part of the idiom of wherever I've gone. I can slip into the idiom of, you know, the colloquialisms and the idioms of wherever I travel. I've never felt separate. So I guess, which is why I've been accepted as something non-separate.
Right.
Yes.
So now you're at the end of the movie. The shooting has been done, and you've got into their post-production.
Yes.
Is Priscilla feeling a little sad?
Yes, I think even though one accepts that all good things must come to an end, I'm leaving my filmy family behind. But I know Harry and Pran and this whole team. We've kept in touch in the breaks that we've endured in between, and I think that we'll continue to do so. You know, I think social media in one way makes that very possible. You don't really lose touch with anybody. Yeah, and yes, I will be sad.
Right. So this is your second feature film.
That's
How
right.
different has this one been from your first one, The Outhouse?
I think this drew from me my emotions, my mental strength, my physicality, my metaphysical leanings in terms of I really had to think this role through. Both were very good experiences. I was lucky that way, Jennifer. But I think this drew a lot out of me in terms, like I said, the journey that I was making outward toward what the story had in store for me was as much an inward journey. And I think that is a very rewarding experience, very rewarding.
And I guess that surely the producer and a director play that very important role, as well as the cinematographer and everybody else involved.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. The degree of comfort you feel in front of the camera largely depends on who's behind the camera, I think, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Harry McClure is you know, he's got quite a name for himself. I was wondering what he was like as a director. Did he bully you?
Not at all. Which
Really?
is, you know, what happens is when someone doesn't bully you, you begin to bully yourself. And I think that's Harry's strategy. You know, he lets you be your own taskmaster, give you the freedom enough to evolve into the character, to get into the character. And yet, when you steer or veer a little away from the objective, he very gently reminds you. So he's got this eagle eye on everything you're doing, and at the same time you feel that you're being given the freedom to use every bit of your human experiences to enrich the role that you're essaying as beautifully as possible.
And the role of your producer, Pran. I'd like to know what
Yes.
his involvement was in the movie itself.
Actually, he's such a quiet, humorous presence. Yes, he was the stress buster in terms of always with a humorous quip there, and he keeps in touch regularly. He's very pragmatic, systematic. So I think every creative enterprise, every artistic enterprise needs a sort of crafting and a grounding, and I think he was a producer like that.
Right.
Yes.
I'm going to move in now and ask you about all the other things that you're doing. You are not just an actress, you're a business person, you're a singer, you've just got fingers in so many pies. Where is the time? Are you really that interested in just so many things?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a failing or a plus point, but whatever I do, I give my 100%, Jennifer. And I think when you give your 100% to anything, what happens is that it takes you on this journey where you where you go from, you go through this, like I said, mental, emotional, physical, metaphysical experience. You have the frustrations of the freshman, you have the discipline, the dedication and the austerity of the craftsperson, and then you suddenly arrive at the liberation and the exaltation of the artist. I think with hair, which is the other thing that I do, I experienced that. And then along with my fellow travelers and myself, I then get to experience this wealth of the human experience, which I then take to my craft of singing or acting and then enrich it.
Right. So you're involved with your mother. The two of you have this very hugely successful
my
business.
sister, myself, and
Oh,
my
it's
mom.
huge family, huge family business.
Yes.
She's the backbone,
She's
right?
the Rock of Gibraltar.
Okay,
my
fine.
sister and my mom. Yeah.
You're right. So while you've been away, they've been handling things for you.
Yes,
So,
Jennifer. With a great degree of guilt, I have to say yes.
So perhaps you'll have to really, really pull up your socks when you get back.
Yes. And yes, pull up my socks, pull out my scissors, get my brushes and combs together, and then do what really grounds me. I think when you're involved, like you yourself are, making beautiful cards, when you do something which is involved with your hands, your mind and everything, it grounds you. Just as much as being like maybe in something creative, it can sometimes just lead you and you can go on thinking about it. But this is something that grounds me. I'm much as I'll miss my filming family, I'll go back to that now till we all meet again.
Priscilla, you've done some singing along the way as well. I know that you sang in a Hindi film, but what about here in this movie?
I was so fortunate to have got the most melodious song to have sung in this film. It's called One Day Above the Clouds. The lyrics were written by Harry and the music was composed, as are the other 6 songs in the film, by Mr. Ganesh Ramanna. I mean, this is one of the highlights of the film. I'm so looking forward to the video being released shortly. We were in the studio yesterday and I think we are all on a high after listening to the soundtrack of this particular movie. It is a must not miss.
Really?
It's fabulous.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Ganesh is responsible for the sound as well, overall in this movie itself, right?
Absolutely. Everything from the dubbing, the live sound, but the composition of the melodies, even to this Bengali song that we're going to be doing for this film, which has already been done. And we have singers, a singer from Bombay, myself, we have Ganesh himself doing a duet, and I think this is something that we will really score high on, the melodious music.
Yeah. Priscilla, I want to ask you now about the other very important parts of your creativity, as it were,
Yes.
about your business itself. Tell me.
My mom started the business 35 years ago.
What business is that specifically?
She's into the hair and beauty industry, and I think her contributions to this industry have been immense. She has been awarded on several occasions for all her contributions to it, from the Bharat Nirman Awards to the Lifetime Achievement Awards. She's done it all. And now I'm with her in this business for the last 17 years. And that's just another aspect where I get to unleash, so to speak, my creativity.
All right. You're also the brand ambassador for many important beauty products.
Yes.
I often wonder what that feels like, you know.
Yeah, I'm the brand ambassador for Keo Carpin.
Yeah.
That's a heritage brand, and that's where I think the commonality was struck, the chord of commonality. We're both heritage brands. That's our salon and they. And I was the hair master for Fiamma Devils, and was also the ambassador for a Sensity Schwarzkopf, a product I pick. I'm careful to, what products I choose to be the ambassador of, Jenny, because we have the first green salon in Calcutta, eco salon.
Really,
And
that's interesting.
Yes, yes.
Can I draw you out on that?
Yes, what we do in that salon is try to keep it as far as possible what we call 5 free, formaldehyde free, ammonia free, plastic free, DDP and toluene free, and then we use recycled paper to put our products in for sale, you know. So it's one sort of conscious decision, and I'm happy to say I played a part in getting that salon readied for the market. So, which is why I chose a Sensity, which is a brand of Schwarzkopf, which is ammonia free and very, very good for the hair.
Right. I'm going to switch back now to this movie and ask you that there were other characters in the film itself.
Yes.
So I'm just wondering along the way the kind of role that the other characters played, and tell me what you really felt about the movie itself and all these people who come along the way.
Yeah, yesterday I was going through the whole synopsis, and I would say that each character on this journey was so well written in, you know, Jenny. From we have the Colonel, we have Rupali, we have a truck driver, we have an old man, we have who else is there?
Your
the
granddaughter.
Old man. That, of course, is my goal and what I'm going towards. My daughter, my granddaughter, all these characters who were written in so well that at some degree they enrich me as a person. You know, I revisit people I've left behind, and in realizing that I realize how much a part of me I've left behind as well. You see, meeting these people, see how they've evolved and how much they teach me during this journey that I make.
Doesn't think of all that's involved when it comes to making a movie. I mean, just so many people all putting their expertise, their creativity together. This is quite a task, isn't it?
It has been one, but what has been so wonderful to see, Jenny, is the way the community has opened out its heart and its arms to us.
So this is, I'm sorry to interrupt you, this is the non-professionals now we're talking about, right?
Non-professionals.
Right.
We've had a lady touching 90, Mrs. Enos. We've had Margaret Dawson. We've had so many people coming to us, principals giving us their schools to shoot in. I mean, it's just Dr. Brian Pepin and his wife Helena, wonderful people just opening out their homes to us, and unforgettable experiences. I just am leaving this film completely enriched for meeting the warmth and the love and affection that we have been showered with during this whole, the making of this film.
I would say, and disagree or agree with me if you wish, that this is primarily because these are people of the community who are kind of involved and excited that something like this is being ventured, isn't it?
Absolutely. They're very excited about it, and I think, again, back to our director, Mr. Harry McClure, who has kept in touch with all these people through the years. This is not something you can tap into just when you need people. This is an ongoing relationship through the years. And so this was something so wonderful to see, Jenny, so wonderful to see.
I was looking at the synopsis myself, and I was just wondering if somewhere along the way there's a tinge of sadness. Is there a tinge of sadness in the film, or am I misreading it?
No, you've got it bang on. And I think I read a little plaque in your study which says a friend is someone who reaches out to lend you a hand and then touches your heart. And I think this is what the movie will do. And anything that is bittersweet will always touch your heart. That's what we hope to do with each and every character. You know, when you touch someone's heart, it can't be only in joy. It's got to be the whole gamut that you touch,
I would say.
and the whole spectrum of emotion. And I think sadness and joy and happiness and the plateauing and the boredom are all part of this spectrum that a human being brings to you and that you embrace in them.
Right.
You know.
So you've been involved in theatre as well. And
Yes.
of all of these things, I really want to ask you, what's your first love? Priscilla, which is the thing you like? You sing, you do so many things. I'm curious now.
That is perhaps, I think my first love is my family. Yeah, that would be my first love.
And after that?
And after that,
Professionally?
Professionally, like I said, I'm a work in progress. And anything that in any way would help me evolve into the best I can possibly be, that's what I'll eventually, I think. However, like I said earlier on, I give my 100% to everything I do. So any journey I take will see me enriched.
Right.
And yeah.
So this is your second feature film, and it kind of focuses on the community.
Yes.
So do you believe that it's a very good way of actually throwing light on the community, its activities in India, where we are at? What do you feel about this kind of thing?
It begins with the person, it goes to the family, then the community, and then of course the country at large. And if each and every one of these areas are wholesome, balanced, we make for better citizens in general, for the country, for the world, as global citizens. So I was very conscious in both my films as to how I portrayed the character. We need more heroes, not only within the community, within humanity at large, people who are constantly looking to evolve into better human beings. It is incidental that it is this community. I consider myself a human first, honestly, and but I think one's community, the way one relates to everyone else, is determined by our cultural influences, and the community lends that to us or gives that to us. So yes, I'm very conscious about how a character is portrayed. I'm ever conscious, which is why I relate so much to the magazine that Harry McClure brings out, Anglos in the Wind,
yes.
yeah, because he searches out for the heroes in the community. He wants to give people those icons, because what happens when you're a gentle, forgiving community, oftentimes the sensationalist aspect is highlighted because very few people are aware of the repercussions. There are no repercussions because you may not fight back. So I think his gentle reminders through the Anglos in the Wind about the icons, like you yourself, you're a heroine to so many in the community, Jenny. You are, and I've been longing to meet you, and subconsciously I've always known that I will meet you. It's been it's
my pleasure.
Yes, it's been a telepathic experience. I know that I've met you. This is almost like deja vu to me. So his putting out these heroes and these icons out there for us to emulate and to look up to is one of the reasons that I took on this project of this wonderful, strong, persevering, focused Anglo-Indian woman.
Right. So you've done 2 movies. Can we expect more?
Oh,
you're laughing. That means you would consider or no?
Jenny, I have 2 very famous sayings which I love. One is, I will listen to nothing anyone says about you because what you are thunders loud enough around you. And the second is, ask time for only time will tell. Right now I'm completely enjoying having done this. I'm looking forward to, in a way, going back and seeing how much energy I can invest into the business and what I've learned and, that sort of thing. And I'm so overjoyed that I've got to meet people like I have.
Right.
People who've enriched me, people who've brought so much to the table, with no eminent rewards. They've just given all of themselves. I mean, where do you meet people like this, Jenny?
Right.
So this is what I'm taking with me. This is the reward as of now. I'm enjoying it, and ask time, for only time
Right.
will tell.
Surely the bigger reward is going to be when you sit in that theatre and you look at it and you say, oh wow, that's a job well done. I love how it's turned out. Are you looking forward to that? Or are you quite satisfied, Priscilla, here at this point that I've done the best I could?
I have put in my all into this
I
film.
know that, I hear that.
I have. And like a lot of times there's nothing more now that I can do. It's left up to Nicholas and Shiva and Vignesh and Harry and the producer Pran and all the people who are behind the scenes to do the rest, to take it to the heights it can. And if people, I can only hope and tell everyone out there that, go and see the film, and I hope you love watching it the way we've loved working and giving our best for all of you out there.
Oh, I'm sure that the end result is going to be absolutely wonderful. I'm looking forward to it myself, and it's been my pleasure, Priscilla, to talk to you today.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
I loved having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.